It was March 9, 1997. The music industry's biggest names gathered for the Soul Train Music Awards after-party. Among the guests was Christopher Wallace, the rapper known as the Notorious B.I.G. At his side was Sean Combs, the music mogul on top of the world. As Biggie's SUV idled at a red light, gunshots shattered the night. The crowd scattered in terror as bullets ripped through the car. 4 shots found their mark, fatally wounding the rapper. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Sean Combs, the man who would become P Diddy, rose from humble beginnings to conquer the music industry. He founded Bad Boy Records, a label that launched the careers of some of hip-hop's biggest names. The Notorious B.I.G., Craig Mack, and Faith Evans were just a few of the talents he nurtured. His Midas touch extended beyond music, fashion, film, and philanthropy, all bore the mark of his ambition. But success came at a price. As Puff Daddy's star ascended, so too did the controversies that plagued him. The murder of the Notorious B.I.G. sent shockwaves through the music world. Conspiracy theories abounded, fueled by the unsolved murder of Tupac Shakur just 6 months earlier. Whispers followed Puff Daddy. Some suspected his involvement, pointing to the escalating tensions between Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records, Tupac's label. Others dismissed these claims as baseless rumors, fueled by envy and speculation. No one has ever been charged with Biggie's murder, and the case remains open to this day. Darkness cloaked the streets of Harlem where Sean Combs took his first breath. Born in 1969, his childhood was a tapestry woven from both struggle and ambition. His mother, a teacher's assistant, instilled in him the power of education. His father, a drug dealer, cast a long shadow, one that would tragically end in murder when Combs was just 3 years old. Young Sean witnessed the harsh realities of poverty and crime, but he also saw glimmers of hope in the vibrant culture that thrived around him. Determination fueled his desire for a different life. Vision propelled Puff Daddy forward. In 1993, he convinced Uptown Records to let him start his own label, and Bad Boy Records was born. Puff Daddy scoured the streets of New York for the hottest new talent, signing artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Craig Mack. He understood the power of image and marketing, crafting a distinct aesthetic for Bad Boy that exuded confidence and swagger. Bad Boy's early releases, including Biggie's debut album Ready to Die and Craig Mack's hit single Flava in Ya Ear, took the music industry by storm. Puff Daddy embraced the lavish lifestyle that came with success, throwing extravagant parties and flaunting his wealth. Friendship blossomed between Puff Daddy and the Notorious B.I.G., both rising stars from the same tough streets. Biggie, with his effortless flow and raw lyricism, became the flagship artist for Bad Boy Records, his music resonating with audiences across the country. Rivalry simmered between the East Coast and West Coast hip-hop scenes. Tupac Shakur, a charismatic and controversial rapper signed to Death Row Records, emerged as Biggie's main rival. The media fueled the flames, portraying their artistic competition as a full-blown war. Fear gripped the music industry in the wake of Tupac's death. The violence that had long plagued the hip-hop world had reached a fever pitch. Protection became a necessity for Puff Daddy and his artists. The threat of retaliation loomed large, and security details were tightened. 6 months after Tupac's murder on March 9, 1997, the Notorious B.I.G. was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. The hip-hop world was once again plunged into mourning. The question of who was responsible for these senseless acts of violence remained unanswered. Suspicion hung heavy in the air. December 27, 1999. Inside Club New York, a popular night spot frequented by celebrities and hip-hop royalty, the atmosphere crackled with tension. Puff Daddy, now a global icon, was hosting a party, the music throbbing, the champagne flowing. An altercation erupted near the VIP area. Witnesses described a heated argument, voices raised, tempers flaring. Gunfire shattered the night. 3 shots rang out. piercing the music and sending shockwaves through the terrified crowd. In the aftermath, 3 people lay wounded, their blood staining the plush carpet of the once vibrant club. Puff Daddy and his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, were quickly escorted from the club, their faces etched with shock and fear. Headlines screamed the news: Puff Daddy involved in nightclub shooting. The incident became a lightning rod, attracting intense scrutiny and speculation. The investigation began immediately. Detectives worked tirelessly, piecing together the events of that chaotic night. They interviewed witnesses, examined security footage, and scoured the club for evidence. The focus quickly shifted to Puff Daddy and his entourage. Rumors swirled about a gun found in the SUV in which they fled the scene. Charges were filed against Puff Daddy and his friend and protege, rapper Shine. Puff Daddy faced multiple charges, including weapons possession and bribery. The world watched as the legal drama unfolded, the stakes higher than ever before. Victims came forward, their lives forever changed by the events of that night. One victim, Julius Jones, had been shot in the face, the bullet leaving him with permanent injuries and a lifetime of pain. He filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Puff Daddy, accusing him of negligence and alleging that the rapper's entourage had instigated the violence. Allegations flew back and forth. Denials came swiftly from Puff Daddy's legal team. A settlement was reached in 2004, after years of legal wrangling. Innocence was the cornerstone of Puff Daddy's defense throughout the legal ordeal. He steadfastly maintained that he was not involved in the shooting and had no prior knowledge of the gun. He expressed remorse for the victims and their families, but he refused to accept responsibility for the actions of others. Trauma lingered in the aftermath of the shooting. The once carefree party boy seemed changed, more subdued, haunted by the events of that night. Determination fueled his desire to move forward. He poured himself into his music, using it as an outlet for his emotions and a way to reclaim his narrative. Redemption became a driving force in his life. He dedicated himself to philanthropy, using his platform to give back to his community and inspire positive change. Scrutiny followed Puff Daddy relentlessly. The Club New York shooting, regardless of his acquittal on the most serious charges, cast a long shadow over his career. His once golden image, carefully cultivated through music videos and public appearances, was tarnished. Criticism mounted from those who saw him as a negative influence, glamorizing violence and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Doubt crept into the eyes of once adoring fans. Some questioned his innocence, wondering if there was more to the story than he was letting on. Isolation became his unwelcome companion. The weight of the accusations, the constant scrutiny, and the loss of public favor took a toll on him. Resilience became his shield. Despite the turmoil in his personal life, he remained a shrewd businessman. He continued to expand his empire, diversifying his portfolio beyond music into fashion, television, and film. He launched Sean John, a successful clothing line, and inked lucrative deals with major brands. Focus shifted back to his roots. He returned to the studio, pouring his heart and soul into his music. He released The Saga Continues in 2001, an album that reflected the challenges he had faced. Rebranding became a strategic move. He announced a name change, dropping Puff Daddy in favor of P Diddy. Ambition continued to burn bright, proving that his entrepreneurial spirit remained undeterred. Contradictions plagued his public image. He struggled to reconcile the perception of himself as a hard-partying playboy with his desire to be seen as a role model and philanthropist. He donated millions to educational causes, mentored aspiring entrepreneurs, and spoke out against gun violence. Yet the shadow of his past continued to linger. Relationships became tabloid fodder. His love life was constantly under scrutiny. His high-profile relationships and breakups splashed across the pages of gossip magazines. He fathered 6 children with 3 different women, a fact that drew both admiration for his commitment to fatherhood and criticism for his unconventional family structure. Introspection became a recurring theme. In interviews, he spoke candidly about the lessons he had learned, acknowledging the mistakes he had made and the toll that fame had taken on his life. He expressed a desire for personal growth and a deeper understanding of himself, hinting at a complex inner life that belied his public persona. Evolution became evident in his later years. He seemed to shed the bravado and excess of his younger self, embracing a more grounded and introspective approach to life. He continued to work hard, but he also made time for family, philanthropy, and personal reflection, suggesting a man coming to terms with the complexities of his own narrative. Growth became a defining characteristic. He challenged himself to step outside his comfort zone, pushing the boundaries of his creativity and exploring new avenues for expression. He produced and starred in films, hosted and produced television shows, and even returned to his acting roots, showcasing his versatility and willingness to embrace new challenges. Philanthropy became a central focus. He dedicated himself to giving back to his community, establishing foundations to support education, health, and social justice initiatives. He used his platform to raise awareness about important issues, lending his voice and resources to causes he believed in. Legacy became a multifaceted tapestry. He cemented his status as a music mogul, a cultural icon, and a successful entrepreneur. He remained a controversial figure, his past missteps never fully forgotten, but he also earned respect for his resilience, his philanthropy, and his evolution as a man. Future remained unwritten. He continued to defy expectations, reinventing himself and his brand with each passing year. He embraced the unknown, venturing into new territories with the same drive and ambition that had propelled him to the top of the music industry. Only time would tell what the next chapter held for Sean Combs, but one thing remained certain: he would face it head-on, driven by the same unwavering determination that had defined his extraordinary journey. Time marched on, relentlessly changing the world Diddy knew. The landscape of hip-hop, once dominated by his brand of flashy excess, had morphed. The rise of social media created new avenues for fame, bypassing traditional gatekeepers like record labels. Artists could connect directly with fans, building empires on authenticity and online buzz. Social media became a double-edged sword. While it offered unprecedented opportunities for connection, it also amplified criticism and scrutiny. Every misstep, every perceived slight, was documented and dissected in the unforgiving court of public opinion. Diddy, accustomed to controlling his narrative, now faced a world where everyone had a voice, and not all of them were singing his praises. Generational divides emerged. Younger artists, raised on a different diet of musical influences and societal norms, questioned the relevance of his old-school approach. Some viewed him as out of touch, a relic of a bygone era. Others respected his hustle and longevity, recognizing the blueprint he had laid for their own success, even if they chose to build upon it in their own way, adapt, or become irrelevant. Diddy faced a crossroads. He could cling to the past, defending his legacy against a new wave of critics and competitors, or he could adapt, evolving his sound and image to resonate with a new generation. The question was, could he bridge the gap without compromising the essence of what had made him Diddy in the first place? Relevance became the driving force. He recognized the need to stay current, to prove that he could still compete in a rapidly changing industry. He collaborated with younger artists, infusing his sound with fresh perspectives and embracing new technologies. He launched music ventures like Revolt TV, a platform designed to showcase emerging talent and bridge the gap between generations. Control over his narrative remained paramount. He carefully curated his public image, using social media to promote his ventures and highlight his philanthropic efforts. He addressed controversies head-on, often with carefully crafted statements that aimed to control the narrative and protect his brand. Confrontation became inevitable. Despite his efforts to adapt, he faced pushback from those who saw him as a symbol of the old guard, resistant to change. He clashed with award shows, accusing them of overlooking black artists. He called out industry executives, demanding more diversity and inclusion. These public pronouncements, while applauded by some, alienated others, who accused him of grandstanding and hypocrisy. Balance became elusive. He walked a tightrope, trying to reconcile his desire for continued relevance with the weight of his past and the expectations that came with his legacy. He he sought to redefine himself as a mogul, a mentor, a family man. But the shadow of his past controversies continued to linger, a reminder that reinvention is an ongoing process, never truly complete. Past transgressions cast a long shadow, legal issues continued to plague him, lawsuits became a recurring theme, settling cases out of court served as a reminder of his past actions, media scrutiny intensified with each new challenge, tabloids exaggerated his legal woes, the public struggled to separate fact from fiction, defense became a well-rehearsed routine. His legal team worked tirelessly to protect his image. They argued he was often the target of frivolous lawsuits. The constant battles took a toll on his reputation. The weight of his past missteps was etched on his face. Legal shadows continued to follow him. Entrepreneur first and foremost. Despite the controversies and legal challenges, Diddy's business acumen remained undeniable. He continued to build his empire, expanding into new markets and forging lucrative partnerships. He diversified his portfolio, investing in everything from liquor brands to tech startups, demonstrating a keen understanding of market trends and a willingness to take calculated risks. Innovator in a constantly evolving world, he refused to be confined by the limitations of the music industry. He embraced new technologies, leveraging social media to connect with fans and promote his brands. He recognized the power of diversification, building a business empire that transcended any single industry. Survivor in a cutthroat world, he weathered storms that would have sunk lesser men. He faced down critics, overcame legal hurdles, and reinvented himself time and again. His ability to adapt, to learn from his mistakes, and to emerge from adversity stronger than ever before became a testament to his resilience and his unwavering determination. Legacy in the making. Diddy's story, a complex tapestry of triumph and tribulation, became a cautionary tale and an inspirational blueprint all at once. He proved that success is often fleeting, that fame comes at a price, and that even the most carefully constructed image can be shattered. But he also demonstrated the power of reinvention, the importance of perseverance, and the enduring allure of the American dream, flawed and messy as it may be. Opinion remains sharply divided when it comes to Sean Combs. Some view him as a cultural icon, a self-made mogul who rose from humble beginnings. They celebrate his entrepreneurial spirit and musical influence. Controversy continues to swirl around him. Others see him as a deeply flawed figure, haunted by past transgressions. Public perception remains a tangled web of admiration and skepticism. His story defies easy categorization, a testament to the complexities of human nature. Responsibility weighs heavily on those who have achieved fame and fortune. Every action is scrutinized, every word dissected. For P. Diddy, the weight of legacy is compounded by his connection to the Notorious B.I.G, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and their shared history. Diddy carries the weight of that legacy, a burden he acknowledges in interviews and music. As he enters a new phase, he speaks openly about lessons learned and using his platform for good. Critics question the sincerity of his transformation, accusing him of using philanthropy to rehabilitate his image. They argue his efforts are disingenuous, a calculated attempt to protect his business interests. Supporters counter that his evolution is genuine, pointing to his long history of charitable giving, his mentorship of young entrepreneurs, and his advocacy for social justice. They argue he is committed to using his influence for good. Motivations are rarely pure, especially in the world of celebrity. It is difficult to disentangle genuine altruism from strategic calculations. Diddy's motivations are likely a mix of personal conviction and strategic understanding. Impact will ultimately measure his sincerity. Time will tell if his efforts are rebranding or genuine evolution. Energy remains a defining characteristic. Despite the controversies, the legal battles, and the weight of his legacy, P. Diddy continues to move with a restless energy, constantly seeking new challenges and pushing the boundaries of his own potential. He shows no signs of slowing down, his entrepreneurial spirit as fierce as ever, his drive to create and innovate undimmed by the passage of time. Evolution is a constant in his world. He has adapted to the changing landscape of the music industry, embracing new technologies and collaborating with a new generation of artists. He has diversified his portfolio, expanding his empire into new markets and exploring ventures that extend far beyond the realm of music and entertainment. Future holds endless possibilities. What new challenges will he conquer? What legacy will he ultimately leave behind? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. P. Diddy will continue to make noise, to disrupt, to innovate, and to redefine what it means to be a mogul, a survivor, and a force to be reckoned with in a world that is constantly changing around him. The beat goes on.